Hello!
Hello.
Welcome to Loose Butthole Reviews.
Suicide Squad.
Yeah, the
Forgive me of my
sequel.
wrongs, I've just begun.
Alright. So, to get out, so we can get straight into spoilers, because that's how we do it here, we're going to go ahead and give our ratings. Mine was a 4.5 out of 5.
And I'd give it a four. Yeah, 4 out of 5.
I'm glad you didn't change, because that's what I put on the rating card.
Yes.
Alright, so to start off, we're gonna get the first character out of the way, and because we've had the most time with her and everything, so Harley
hmm
Quinn, Margot Robbie. What did you think of her in this film?
I mean, she was okay. I, I,
I mean, she's Harley
I,
Quinn.
yeah. I mean, I didn't think she disrupted it or anything, like as much as,
I
like,
I think her sex scene just grinded this movie to a halt.
mhm.
Like that whole scene just kind of like killed. Like they could have done it way better. Instead of doing a sex scene when they captured her, they should have just been torturing her the whole time, and the
Mhm.
general should have just betrayed the dude and like locked him in with the birds and burned him to death with his birds instead of having
Oh yeah.
Harley like do that whole scene where they're like, "Oh, the island worships Harley, and like if I marry you, and let's have sex," and then he says he's going to kill children,
Mhm.
and that's that's too far for Harley, even though um, canonically, if we were going by the comics,
I mean, it
so
depends on which version of Harley.
yeah, well, yeah, you have the new version of Harley, which is more anti-hero, but the early Harley definitely killed a few kids for sure.
Hmm
All right, so the next character we have is Bloodsport. Idris Elba played him.
Oh, I thought he was actually pretty funny. He was pretty
Yeah,
good throughout. He was a pretty strong character throughout the film, and I actually liked him better uh than I guess Will Smith, since I guess we are forced to compare them, since that I guess he was supposed to be a,
yeah, you
a
can.
Deadshot, right?
Yeah, and you can kind of tell too because Deadshot's writing is still into the film because like he has a daughter and there's
Yeah.
like like they already have a connection and everything and they didn't establish or anything and they kind of nerfed his a bit like Bloodsport is supposed to be able to make anything like even a piece of paper into a lethal weapon and
Yeah.
like that was the whole like pin scene like it was demonstrating if he wanted to
hmm
he could really like take that pin and fuck her up but he didn't do that much in the final. Like I feel like filming started like before they actually changed it,
hmm
and all they did like was go and change around his name and stuff in a few scenes, and added a few scenes to make him more like Bloodsport.
Yeah. But it is kind of funny that they just like grabbed like the most other like another like kind of generic gun-based
Yeah,
villain instead, and then just like it
I
didn't really
mean,
disrupt the movie that much.
yeah, no. To be honest, I think it worked out in their favor, not changing the actor and
Mhm.
just using a different character.
And then having another character also have basically the same backstory too.
Yes. That's actually the next one we are getting into. Peacemaker.
Yeah, Peacemaker was funny.
Yeah, this is John Cena's. I don't really like John Cena, but this is John Cena's best role, like for sure.
Mhm. At
Like
first, there's some points when he annoyed me a little bit, and I'm like, all right, like you're not like what's his name, like Drac from
he's not supposed to be though.
Guardian.
I felt that he's supposed to be anti Captain America, so Like
Yeah, yeah.
that's why he has a sword and everything. Like
Mm.
so, I felt that they did Peacemaker really well. Like they kept him to his comic book like really
Yeah.
well.
And
All right.
the, I mean, and I did like the little inner struggle there too.
Yeah, the little rivalry that they had with that he had with Bloodsport was funny, especially
Well,
when they're
I meant like them trying to get the leak the info. That whole, uh,
that was kind of cool, but I was kind of into the whole rivalry between him and Bloodsport. I thought that was done
oh
really
yeah,
well,
oh yeah, them
especially
slaughtering the village.
yeah, that slaughtering the innocent rebellion people, the innocent resistant people that's just trying to
Yeah.
defend their country.
There's some
They
pretty
did,
good kills in that scene.
yeah. In their defense, they didn't know.
They just got bad info from Waller.
Yeah,
That's
they just
all.
got bad intel. That's what happens when you give bad intel.
Mm.
All right, so this is actually the first. This is first death that we're gonna cover, and he was from the first movie, Colonel Rick Flag.
Oh, yeah.
I thought he
That's
did
not one of
pretty
the
well
first
in
deaths
this.
though.
He wasn't the first death we're covering. I mean,
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah,
he
yeah.
was definitely not the first death. The first death was Weasel,
Mm. Yeah, I actually couldn't
quote
remember
unquote.
if you. And I'm glad that you confirmed that he was from the first one because I couldn't remember if he was or not.
Yeah, he was
Because if
part of the first one. He was part of the first one.
because I he's definitely more memorable than he was in that. I'll say that since I still can't remember his character in the in the first one.
Yeah, I kind of saw his death coming because in the comic books he's supposed to die in Jotunheim. Like that's straight out the comics. So I
Yeah.
like that they gave him that. But I kind of upset that we're not gonna see that dude. And I wanted
Mhm.
to point out he kind of looked like the dude that plays Shaggy from Scooby Doo in that scene where he's choking Peacemaker. Like
He looked like Matthew Lillard.
yeah, he like that's like he reminded me of Matthew Lillard like a lot in that scene.
Did you Matthew Lillard's in the Twin Peaks continuation?
And it doesn't help that he plays Shaggy, and James Gunn is actually the one that written the live action Scooby Doo movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was. So
Oh shit.
so it's crazy that I kind of made that connection.
Hmm.
All right, the next death and the death that I'm actually kind of disappointed in is Captain Boomerang.
Oh yeah, that happened pretty quick.
Yeah, I didn't want him to die. Actually, I kind of wanted to see him in future
He
movies.
had a pretty good death though.
Yeah, no, they gave him a good death. They gave him the good death. I'm gonna give him that, but definitely someone that I wish was able to come back.
Hmm. Yeah.
All
I don't know
right,
if they'll if like I mean there's multiple Captain Boomerangs, so I don't know if
yeah,
who knows. It won't
but
be the same
I
dude
don't
though.
think it can be that actor coming back to
No.
play him, and that's disappointing. I was hoping that he was like one of the very few people to make it off the 18 the
Hmm.
distraction, but clearly not.
Nope.
All right, the next one. He wasn't really part of the Suicide Squad, but he was like a pseudo member at the end. The Thinker, played by Peter Capital.
Oh yeah, he was.
I liked him. I liked him. I'm upset they
Yeah.
nerfed him though. They made him into the Thinker that literally just the stuff in it that makes him smarter instead of giving him telekinetic powers.
Hmm. I don't
How
know much about the Thinker,
there's
comics
like
wise.
four of them. There's like four of them, and one of them, I think the current one is the one like he's got all that. It's they kind of did a perfect one for this one because
Hmm.
he's got all that shit in his head, and it all it does is make him more intelligent than he is.
Also, he's a fucking freak.
Yeah, he kind of is a freak. All right, this next character, she was also not part of the Suicide Squad. Sol Sierra, the resistance. Do you think she was needed at all?
I mean, she was I mean, to get them in there, and I mean, for that whole other thing. I don't know. I wouldn't say she definitely wasn't like my favorite character.
It's very forgettable.
He was pretty much just a straight man
Yeah,
to be
and
like
I
who
didn't
reacts
think that
to
they
what the
needed to
Suicide
add.
Squad's doing.
Yeah, it was kind of like a B plot for the film to have for some reason, even though it already
Hmm.
kind of already had two plots going at the same time.
Yeah, they didn't really go anywhere with that because I think it all just kind of goes into the Starro stuff and that kind of takes over. So
Yeah,
they're
they make that quick little they do the quick scene where they go and kill the generals, and then they're like they have that little news broadcast where they're like, "Oh, we're going to have the first democratic elections in 19
yeah.
years." It's like the a gigantic kaiju starfish monster looking thing like just ravaged your country. No one gives a shit that you're a democratic nation now. Like we got more shit to worry about.
Hmm. But I know like the main general just gets like Starroed to death.
That he wasn't he was the second main. First main general, he gets shot by Harley.
Oh, I mean that I thought he was like the president though.
He was the dude that followed the coup, and he was a general that became president within the movie. Like
Yeah.
that was his backstory.
Hmm. If I met the dude who was torturing Harley, just got
Yeah,
Starroed.
starved to death. Yeah. All right, so Blackguard, played by Pete Davidson. um,
I mean that.
it was a great death scene. I'm not gonna lie that they did it pretty
Mhm.
well.
It was fitting, and he wasn't in the movie long enough to annoy me.
Yeah, for sure. He was kind of annoying me in the airplane scene with all the team one members, bonding
Yeah.
real quickly.
Hmm.
But
But I think
he
he was supposed to be kind of
an
an ass.
expendable. But I'm kind of upset that because Blackguard's supposed to be a cool dude that like can make energy weapon like an energy mace and stuff. So I'm kind of upset they uh, kind of nerfed him in this movie. But maybe there, you can have another Blackguard, I guess, in the future.
Hmm. And honestly, I mean, he never even had a chance to use his powers. So maybe,
I don't think it because they gave him guns and the original Blackguard's not supposed to use guns if I'm not mistaken.
okay.
So I think he is like just a mercenary type deal that like just betrayed the team. All right,
Hmm.
so next is my favorite character,
Polka Dot
Polka Dot
Man?
Man. Yes.
Nice.
All right, so they did him. They did him so much justice in this movie. I expected him to be like one of the first people to die.
Hmm.
Like I was expecting him to be part of Team One and just dying. Like I did not expect him to. I kind of like that they kind of made his powers different because in the original Polka Dot Man, he just takes the polka dot off his suit and he like morphs
Hmm.
into stuff. So they kind of made it kind of different, which I kind of like, and they kind of made it open ended for future polka dot men or woman
Hmm.
in the future because they do sneak in a line saying that he had brothers and sisters and some of them lived and some of them died. So
Hmm.
just
I mean, I
I
love the whole bit of him and his mom.
yes, that I love that they kept showing it too. Like that
Yeah.
was a very good payoff. Uh
Like when that first happened, it shocked me because it
uh,
was.
Oh, when like it's the whole squad just turned into.
Yeah.
I I wonder if that actress like had to dress up in different outfits and stand in different like to get those different shots.
Yeah.
Good on her if she did, because she was in a lot of scenes because she was in the dancing
Mhm.
scene as well.
Yeah, and also she was a big old, when she a
Yeah,
big giant
he imagined
Starro.
as Starro. Yeah,
Yeah.
unfortunately Starro smashes him in the end, but he got a good hit on Starro. He was able to dissolve one of his feet, so
Yeah. Yeah, he had a pretty good power.
yeah. I mean, I'm that's why I'm kind of upset that they killed him off so like they did. He deserved a better death than that, but you know.
Mhm.
It was he lasted a lot longer, and
It was predictable too. It was kind of like when he said the line, I could like see it like as before he
yeah,
even finished the sentence.
as soon as he said I'm a superhero, I was like, man, I know it's
Hmm.
coming.
Also, it was a suspicious angle too. It's like the angle that if they're like standing at the street, you're just like, okay, when's the car coming?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, he definitely got spoiled by the angle as well.
Hmm.
All right, he's
Other
not
than
on
that,
this
though, yeah,
list,
it was a
but
strong character.
since a very strong character, the actor did very well. I'm very proud, and I hope that he can
Hmm.
play another version of Polka Dot Man in the future, like a more confident Polka Dot Man, or like a more psychopathic Polka Dot Man from the experiments. And he's not on this list, but I'm gonna bring him up since Polka Dot Man liked him. What did you think of Milton?
Milton, no, yeah, Milton died a hero.
Yes.
Milton the
That
martyr.
he was actually a very good character. After watching it, he's actually a very good character.
Yeah, these the van driver.
He's not also a he was helping out plant the explosives. So I guess you can say he was a demolition expert in training before he was cut down in his prime. All right. The next one, which I kind of saw I saw this death. I actually saw him being the one to run away and Amanda Waller blowing his head off. Servant.
Yeah. And
Because
I actually have a lot to say about Savant. I like that they basically did Deadshot's scene from the first movie like over with Deadshot, like in a fast version almost. So it's almost kind of like a fast version of the first movie.
yeah, definitely. It was definitely like a kind of a soft reboot.
Hmm. And I mean,
He's supposed to be the weakest link, so he's supposed to run away like that. That's
mhm. As much, yeah, it made sense as much as I'd like to see more Michael Rooker.
yeah, but you know. I was gonna say we can see him as Yondu, but I don't even think we can see him as Yondu because Yondu died, didn't he?
uh, oh yeah, I think he did.
Yeah, so yeah, I wonder what he's gonna be in next.
What about Michael Rooker in superhero movies?
All right, so one character that they absolutely did not need in the film whatsoever, Mongal.
Oh, and I mean, she seemed really weak for how
Yeah,
she
they
was.
like
She's a
completely depowered
Superman
her.
villain.
Yeah, like they completely
Like
depowered her. Like,
she would just like you think the fire wouldn't really be that much of a problem.
yeah. I mean, she was supposed to be able to. She's supposed to be able to punch through that like airplane and stuff. Like that's what I thought she was gonna do. I thought she was jumping up to punch through the helicopter and make it explode. I was like,
Hmm.
yeah, that's about to pop off, because the actual strong characters was pump. But no, they made her like just an alien.
Yeah, it was kind of like, oh, pretty strong. Just so that I mean, she was one that led to that pretty brutal like helicopter death of Captain Boomerang.
Yeah, Captain Boomerang getting with the shrapnel. Now, at first, I was like, okay, that shrapnel, it could just be like a badass battle scar, but then they just confirm it with with just obliterating him.
Yeah.
All right, and this one is not. They have not. They didn't actually confirm this death. They actually just marked him as critically wounded, critical in critical condition. Was
The detachable kid.
Nathan Fillion? Yeah.
Yes. I like the
So
detachable kid.
like
Just
like
shooting his
I
arms. uh,
that
that's a
was
pretty
such a
good
great
scene.
scene. I love that was like one of my favorite deaths of that scene. Well, not deaths because he's in critical condition. They mark him in critical condition. They don't confirm that he's dead.
And I guess if they went and got back got back sorry, what's his name again? Peacemaker, then they could have recovered him.
Yeah, for sure.
If he was still alive on the battlefield. And maybe who knows, maybe even they found on the next guy we'll cover along the way.
Well, he's kind of later down the line, but I know who you're talking
Mm.
about.
Yeah.
All right, the next one, which I think I know someone that's gonna love the next character, Ratcatcher 2.
Oh yeah. That's one you don't see a lot, and
Yeah, and
like it's an underrated
uh,
Batman one.
Taiki Waititi, I believe is his name, played the original Ratcatcher in the flashbacks.
Ah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, that's the dude who I
did
think
Jojo
he
Rabbit,
yeah,
Jojo
he did
Siwa.
Jojo Rabbit and
Oh,
he
Jojo
did Thor
Rabbit. Yeah.
Ragnarok too.
Oh, he did. Oh, nice,
Yeah.
nice.
That's why that
Okay.
movie's like a comedy. It's because he did it.
Ah, nice, nice, cool.
And he does Flight of the Conchords, like with Flight of the Conchords. He's partially a writer on that series.
So what did you think of her? Like what did you think of the actor and like how they?
It was I thought it was good. It
I
was an
thought she did pretty
interesting
well.
interpretation of the story too.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. What did you think of her like kind of pseudo relate like fatherhood relationship bond that she had with Bloodsport? Did you care for that at all?
I
Did you
can
think it
take it
was
or leave it.
necessary?
I thought it was okay because it made. I mean, I understand like having that team be close. I mean, that's what they also. That's sort of a theme that they kind of kept too. Is it's sort of the
The
team becoming a
bond.
family. Yeah,
Yeah.
which I mean, they even had their own bar scene, which
Oh yeah.
was
Oh, I'm glad they actually was able to redeem themselves because the bar scene in this movie is so much better than the bar scene in the original. Like the bar scene in the original just shouldn't have happened because it's no character building whatsoever.
and yeah, it makes a little bit less sense.
Yeah, because they just like randomly walk into a bar and start drinking. And in this one, it's like they've actually they actually wrote it into like they're supposed to be there.
They're supposed to be there, but then they get kind of carried away.
Yeah, which it's kind of good that they did because they needed to do a
Yeah.
little more bonding,
Mhm.
and it kind of lets you know that like even though like most of these people are like serious like criminals and stuff, like they still have some humanity to them.
Also, she has one of the best kills. I mean, that scene with Sorrow
Oh
with the
yeah,
rats
yeah. Oh, that I
is
love that imagery.
so
Like
trippy.
that's such a good scene. Such a great scene. I really really
I
like
want to
her
see like
actually.
that's like the scene that I want to like know like uh sort of like what went on in the background of making this, you know?
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm probably actually gonna
Like I
look
want to see
into
behind the scenes of that
yeah of that for
specifically at
sure.
least. Yeah.
All right, so the next one is King Shark or Nanawe,
Yeah,
voiced
he
by
was
Sylvester
who's he voiced
Stallone.
by?
Sylvester
Wait,
Stallone.
no.
Yeah, yeah. It was
They
Sylvester
pulled a
Stallone.
Groot.
Yeah, it was that. It was nice.
Oh
I
shit, I didn't know that.
I'm able to hear it. I'm able to hear Sylvester Stallone's voice.
Oh, I had no clue.
Yeah,
I didn't even like catch that in the credits.
I can't believe he
I'm
didn't do that. But
surprised.
he did such a good job too.
Yeah, I think he was the favorite of Starfish and Murder when they were watching. They found him adorable.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and I agree. I enjoyed him. I enjoyed his character. I like Shark Hulk.
And I'm glad that they yeah I'm glad that they still made him on par with Super. Like I was up like when they started shooting him, I'm like that that better not be
Yeah,
like actually hurting him
I was hoping that he wasn't going to be
because
dying in that scene because yeah,
he's supposed
he's
to be
like
bulletproof.
yeah, he's a sea god. He's a shark god.
All right. So the next one, and I know you've been waiting for this one. Weasel, played by Sean Gunn, James Gunn's his brother, actually.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Was he in the
So,
mocap suit for that?
yes, he was in the mocap suit for that. And if you didn't notice, Sean Gunn plays another Batman villain in this movie as well.
Oh.
Calendar Man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's the one that
Yeah.
makes fun of Polka Dot Man in the prison scene.
Yeah. I wonder if they'll bring him back, and I wonder if they retconned him like a power.
That'd be cool. That'd be. I wouldn't mind like an actual like Calendar Man movie though. That would be cool.
Hmm.
Like a Hannibal, like a Hannibal Lecter style type movie. That'd be really good. And since they're kind of doing a darker tone with like the is it Robert Patterson, the Twilight dude? Is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
he's doing the bat like his movies are supposed to be like having a darker tone and stuff, so it would fit like perfectly, but Sean Gunn would have to like either they'd have to get a different actor or Sean Gunn would have to like tone down the character
Hmm.
a bit cuz he seemed pretty insane, like pretty like energetic insane, and that's not what Calendar Man's supposed to be.
Hmm.
But yeah, what did you think of Weasel?
I I'm glad he survived, but he did have a really good first death of just being of just drowning in the first like drop.
Yes. I
Just like a
loved
little
every
animal.
scene Weasel was in though. Weasel was
Yeah.
definitely one of my was it's my second favorite character by far.
Very obscure. I don't know where they got that villain.
It's very obscure villain. He's actually supposed to be he's supposed to have like superhuman strength and stuff. He's not supposed to look like that at all.
Mhm.
Weasel is an actual villain in the comics, but he's not supposed to like they modeled him after like a cartoon cat that
Oh,
looks crazy.
he's a Firestorm enemy. Weird.
Yeah, yeah, and I think his backstory that he eaten 27 children is like an actual thing. Like that's supposed to be his backstory.
Oh.
Yeah, like he's just a child eater.
So I'm looking at like an old school picture of him. He just looks like a weird like furry picture. I don't know.
Yeah,
And of course, Firestorm the Nuclear Man. Honestly, man, that's like something that like used to be big in the comic world, but only ever in the comic world, like in the comic book. like
Yeah,
community, like
but
never outside even like casual nerds like don't even know who the fuck Firestorm is. You could totally
yeah,
use
that's a
Firestorm in
very
one of these
obscure one.
movies. Yeah,
But
he's
we're not ever
Firestorm, the nuclear
that
man.
but we're definitely gonna see more Weasel in at least the Peacemaker HBO's TV series that we're gonna get that James Gunn is doing.
They're doing a series?
Peacemaker's getting that's what the stinger at the end was about, was teasing his
Oh,
TV series. Yeah,
that's kind of an
Peace.
odd one huh.
Yeah, Peacemaker's getting his own TV series, which I'm glad. I hope we see a lot more Weasel in it. I really hope we see more Weasel in the future.
Strange. It's just like kind of like of any character that I thought would could get a series, you know? As much as I
Yeah,
like this character, you know,
yeah,
like
definitely. But
that's kind of odd.
I think it's because he's probably like the most available right now.
Hmm.
All right, so the last one and the like least important character, Javelin.
The most important. I mean, she had to carry it.
The Chekhov, the Chekhov's gun.
She had to carry it for a purpose that she never got to even find out.
Yeah, no, she found out at the very end. She finds out that the purpose was to jab it into Starro's eye, or
Oh
that's what
yeah.
she believed the purpose was. Because she doesn't have the javelin at the end. I don't believe she doesn't have the javelin. She might still have the javelin. I don't know yet.
I couldn't remember if she still had it or not.
I didn't see her. I don't remember seeing her with it, but they could retcon it to where she did pick it up or something.
Hmm.
All
Felt
right.
like there's more.
No.
No, maybe not.
We were gonna do Amanda Waller.
Oh yeah, Amanda Waller.
I mean, they did her. I mean, Viola Davis is Amanda Waller from the comic books, one for one. So
Yeah, she does it. She does it pretty good, and just like her being just going too far. Though I feel like it's kind of a stretch to like leave Starro there because he seems like he'd be a national threat, like not just to that island. You think like
oh
you'd want to
yeah,
get rid of Starro because he's
when
a
she was
loose
like,
end.
oh, it's no business of ours. The nation's not gonna care that we released a gigantic kaiju monster on another nation.
Because then I thought like, okay, is she just gonna say like she's just gonna nuke it? But she didn't even say that they're just gonna nuke it. You know, that they're just gonna leave it there. And it's like, well,
Yeah,
then
they're just gonna
that's
let it
that's gonna
be.
creep into the U.S. at some point.
Yeah, that's very weird that she was gonna do that. But I guess
Like it would have made more sense if she was just like, all right, come home, we're just sending a nuke, and then they had to like kill it before the nuke came. You know, that would have made a little bit
yeah,
more
that would have
sense.
made a lot more sense.
And
All right.
I also I couldn't really care too much for like the office people. Like they kind of try to make us care about them, but
Kind of. I don't think they gave us enough time with the office people to care.
I mean, they kind of
A-
just reminded
And
me
they
of
kind of made, and
the
I
guys
hate to
of
say it, but the very first scene where they're like betting on people's lives and stuff kind of like indicates that they're like not the best intent people.
yeah. I mean, but they honestly nothing too above like our federal government.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just saying, like, you can't
I could
really
totally see
sympathize
that.
with these people because they're not really the best people. Like, I hate. Okay, so I'm gonna get into the reason why this movie doesn't get a solid 5 for me, and it's the Harley Quinn sex
Mhm.
scene was not. They did not need that. They could have completely took that out the film and done something completely different.
Yeah, it wasn't even that great. It
Yeah, I
was just
mean,
kind of
it
there.
wasn't even. It was like James
They
Gunn
didn't even go
had.
more.
Yeah, it's
They
like
didn't
James
even
Gunn
like
just
go
wanted
like
to
hard
do it
into it.
just
It
because
wasn't
he
even
had.
really that sexy.
Yeah, it feels like he just wanted to do just have Harley Quinn just have a sex scene real quick.
Hmm.
And the other is I get what they're trying to do, but they mention the children a lot in this film.
Think of the children.
Yeah, and it's not even it wouldn't even be like it's like they'll make say a line, they'll be like, all those innocent people, the children.
Hmm.
Yeah, that the children are when you said all those innocent people, I was thinking of children too. I you don't have to you don't have to like bring it up even more. Like I get it. You said the people, you pluralized it.
Hmm.
It was like James Gunn had to make sure like you knew who was the actual true terrible people and how to do that. They kill kids.
Hmm.
And that was like the only way to establish that there was a terrible like they were more terrible than the criminals that we were supposed to be rooting for, even though to be honest it already seems like these aren't really criminals, that they're just put in jail for no fucking reason because you don't show us why they're in jail or anything.
Well, I know they explained that Ratcatcher 2, I know, was from robbing a bank, and then
Yeah,
she
and
said it was a bullshit that they slapped a weapons charge, armed robbery charge on there since she only used rats.
which I want to like put a little devil advocate. No, if you no that you're definitely using like if you use another human to rob a bank, should you not get like conspiracy to rob a bank and stuff like that? Like
But still wouldn't
you
be an
would even get a
armed.
worse.
It wouldn't be armed robbery. It would just
I
be robbery with
I guess.
multiple things. Depending
I
on if she killed anybody with those rats during the
okay. Yeah.
robbery.
See. Yeah. That.
That's
All
that's what
right.
that's the kicker. If she just used the rats to go and like grab out all the money and it freaked people out, that's not
And
armed
that's one
robbery.
thing. But if she was using like them like physically against people, then it would be. Gotcha. I see that. I got you.
Yeah. And I
See,
mean,
that's the thing. Like that's what I'm saying. Like they should have like if they wanted us to not sympathize with the criminals as much, they should have
mhm.
showed us like why they're in jail. They shouldn't have just. They didn't even tell us really.
Yeah, and I like they kind of told for some of them. I
Um,
thought I thought they that I mean, I guess Bloodsport would
for
be
Ratcatcher and Harley Quinn, they did because Harley Quinn said she got road rage inside a bank.
she got wait, she got road rage where?
Inside a bank.
Oh, okay.
That's what she tells Captain Boomerang when he asks her why she back in jail.
Mm, okay, yeah. Which makes sense that she was on the team that was kind of supposed to fail. They're just trying to get rid
Yeah,
of her, like getting multiple birds with one stone.
yeah, but she's like they should have known she's like the one person that wasn't gonna die. All right. So, is there any like particular scenes you want to go over?
We already went through the star racing. That was cool.
Yeah, the Star Wars scene was pretty
Um,
cool. Oh, do you know what those little things were that was munching on Nawe? Not
I have
Nanawe? Like I have
I
no
have
clue what
no
those are
idea. I
supposed to
didn't know if they
be.
were supposed to be anything.
Like I know that they were like vicious little creatures, but
They look like a cross between cuttlefish and an obscure toy called Booba. That's silly.
yeah, that
Or
I was very like that scene got me. Like I didn't really understand that scene too tough.
I mean I understood the scene just because I saw it was kind of a joke that King Shark was making friends, and he had just learned that friends don't you don't eat friends, and immediately those friends started trying to eat him.
They did
Wasn't
good.
wasn't too necessary though, but
If you notice, Harley Quinn and Polka Dot Man are actually pulling the creatures off of him, like while the water and stuff is going on. Like
yeah.
they're actually trying to help him. I just wanted to see if you knew what those creatures were supposed to be, if like they're from a comic book or something.
Not to my recollection.
All right, we went over the bar scene. The beach
I'm
scene was
trying to think
pretty
because
much.
there's a couple other like yeah, the beach scene was was pretty good. That's I mean
Yeah,
I like the
that's
transition like where with like Savant's head blowing off and then it like going into like the Warner Brothers.
Oh yeah, James Gunn did it. I love those transitions. Instead of like having text on the screen, he put the transition text into the
Yeah, there's
scene itself.
that
That was really
that
good.
cool one when it was just like that like broken up like roof too.
Yeah, where it said Jotunheim, that was really cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool like perspective stuff like that. Like a lot of cool use of colors, and then like the shots. Just I mean,
Yeah, James.
it's definitely a beautiful movie.
They definitely need to. I hope James Gunn can do more DC in the future because he did really he wrote and directed this. That's why I know he needs to be doing more. So he did DC really like. If there's more DC films like this in the future, like we have a very good future for DC.
Hmm. And then my original rating was going to be 3.5, but I just think that this achieved its goal so well of being basically of being better than the first one. I mean, that was I
Yeah,
think
that
we
was
can
the
agree that was
goal.
its goal, right?
To
Yeah.
be honest, to be
That's why it wasn't
honest,
Suicide Squad 2. That's why
if
it wasn't
yeah,
Suicide Squad 2. That's why it was
it
just the Suicide Squad.
the not it wasn't just not they made it they did a dig at the first Suicide Squad and called it the Suicide Squad. Like
Yeah.
this one, like the first one is Suicide Squad, and this one is the Suicide Squad. Like they made sure to put the before Suicide Squad in the title, so it was like an
Yes.
extra jab.
Yes.
And I was gonna
So,
say this is my favorite DC film of all the DC universe films so
yep, yeah,
far.
I'll agree with that. I mean, Dark Knight exists, but other than
Well,
that,
I'm not. I said the DCEU, not. I'm not talking about.
oh, oh well,
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, that's super easy.
yeah. No, nothing's gonna compare to Dark Knight. Okay, like
I enjoyed this more
let's
than
not.
Batman Begins.
Yeah, yeah. That definitely enjoyed this more than Batman Begins, but I'm not gonna. Like, are you insane trying to compare this to the Dark Knight?
And Dark Knight Rises is too funny to.
Yeah, like I love Tom Hardy's Bane too much in that.
Like I feel like the more I watch Dark Knight Rises, the more unironic the enjoyment becomes. it's, that's such a weird. It's such a weird. Now we're diverting into that trilogy, but that's such a weird trilogy of just like a really boring film, a phenomenal like 5-star fucking film, and then just like hilariously like a
Yeah.
train wreck of, but like somehow still kind of good, like still good, but like also terrible. I don't
I know
know,
exactly
like,
what
but
you're
I could
talking
always
about.
watch it. It's got like endless rewatchability.
Oh man.
I've seen that so many times
Oh
on
yeah,
like buses too,
I
like through
usually
school
I'm not
trips,
gonna lie, if I watch The
not
Dark
school
Knight,
trips,
I
church
usually
trips.
watch it right after cuz it's just a good cool down from The Dark Knight.
Yeah. Mm.
I never watched Batman Begins though, because it's just nothing happens in that film.
It's so boring. Yeah, like I wish they just like focused on the Scarecrow and just like made him better.
Oh, but
That would have been
no,
fun.
you got to play the video games if you want a good Scarecrow.
Yeah. And it's just like who the fuck knows who Ra's al Ghul is? And I mean, I don't hate the villain like in the comics or like in the. I mean, I liked him in the
I
animated series
understand
too,
that
but
they were
like
like
he's
going into
not
his
an
back,
interesting.
like they were going into his
Yeah.
in-depth backstory and all, but like they should have saved that for definitely Dark Knight Rises instead of shoving it into the first film.
hmm And also, they brought Talia al Ghul in the third
Yeah,
one,
which
and it was like,
makes no
did I
sense.
feel like most people watching this probably didn't even watch Batman Begins. I feel like most people just started at Dark Knight.
Yeah, probably. The Dark Knight is probably where most people began, which that's completely fine. Or the Tim
Because I
Burton
feel like more
films.
people went to that in theaters
You
too. Yeah.
the Tim Burton
Huh?
films are probably also a good jumping off point for people.
Yeah. True.
So to be honest, if I was going to like tell people what order to watch movies in, I would say watch Dark Knight first, and then The Dark Knight Rises after it to like get a feel for like how different the films can be, and then go with the Tim Burton like
Mm.
films. And then follow up with uh the one with Val Kilmer and Batman and Robin.
Mm.
Definitely, you have to watch those after the Tim Burton films, just to know how awful Batman can get, and
Mm.
then you can go ahead and watch the other DC films, because then you'll have a good palette for how the DC films are.
Yeah.
It's like start with the good ones,
Um,
and then just
and
like
they
divulge into the rest.
and yeah, other than that, I would like the film. I think it wasn't too like ADD either. It didn't shoehorn like a Joker in there.
Yeah. Oh no, the Suicide Squad film
I'm
was the
so glad Jared
pacing.
Leto is not in this.
The pacing of it was so good. The pacing of this, like I said, that the only reason why I hate the sex scene is because it just kills the pacing, and the pacing is so good for the rest of the film. I believe like there's no the the slow moments
Yeah,
are
generally it feels like there's something's happening and pretty often. Like
yeah,
there's not a long time
this
before like something's not happening.
yeah, the slow and the time that it's not, and when it's slow and somber, it feels like warranted, like the characters need a breather, and they deserve the breather. So you're not
Oh,
like,
we did forget a character. You forgot Starro. He's a villain.
Starro was completely
Starro the Conqueror.
Starro the Conqueror. He was cute. He
Which
was
I
adorable.
think
I liked him.
I actually really like the fact that they went for an absurd, you know, like super powerful but like still like super absurd villain that only makes sense in like the like old school like golden age comic world.
Yeah, for sure. It's fitting with like having Polka Dot Man and Peacemaker in this and stuff. Like there's so many old
Yeah,
age.
that's what Suicide Squad, yeah, is where all the leftovers go.
So yeah, it was
Who
extremely
can't be
fitting.
taken seriously in any type of other movie.
I wish though that they like acknowledged like the other like I wished that James Gunn, I guess he wasn't able to, but I wish like they just explained why Superman didn't just come flying in, because surely Superman would have heard this with his super hearing going down.
Possibly, unless he was doing some shit. I mean, he could have been like,
Yeah.
you never know with
Or this could have
Superman.
been when he was. This could be taking place when he's dead. They don't really put this on the
Oh
timeline
yeah,
too tough.
true.
But yeah, that was my only gripe. I was like, Superman definitely should be like coming to help with this situation at least.
hmm Or Aquaman.
Yeah, yeah, but Aquaman is a little more iffy because they weren't really in the ocean when Starro came out.
True.
All right, so I think we covered this film pretty well. I don't think we can
Yeah.
uh the Harley Quinn scene where the trippy scene with all the flowers and stuff. How do you like that? I like that scene a lot.
Sure. Oh yeah.
When she acquires the javelin and after she how'd you like that scene?
Um, I actually don't remember it too right now. I'm blanking out on it
Oh,
a little bit, but I kind of remember what, like, I remember it happening,
yeah, it's a
but
pretty
I mean, I
trippy
can't really
scene.
visualize it right now.
It was kind of like showing like how Harley Quinn sees the world when she's doing violent stuff. Kind of. That's how I saw
Oh yeah, you're right.
it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I remember that scene now. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was pretty. That was a good use of colors,
Oh yeah, for sure. All right.
and
I think.
also her like with the guns too,
Oh
just
yeah, for
like gunning
sure.
down all the other dudes. I thought
Yeah,
that was a pretty
that
good
was.
one. Like her
It,
escaping was good.
yeah, that I'm glad. I'm so glad. I was thinking that they were gonna like skip that for like a gag, but I'm glad they actually showed it.
Mm.
It made the gag even more like rewarding, if that makes
Yeah, that
sense.
she like gets done and then just catches them. Yeah, it's like beginning there. The rescue.
All right, so that is Suicide Squad. Uh,
Purple Lamborghini looking. Rose. Though, except this one opened with
I
the Jim Carroll band, uh,
oh
People Who Died.
this one sound. I'm not. Oh, the soundtrack. Oh yes, we got to get it before we go. The soundtrack was the for this film was so good and so much better than the original.
Nice. Yeah, a lot of classic kind of punk stuff on there.
Yeah, definitely, and it felt more warranted that for each scene, you know,
Hmm.
and they did a good deal with like having the music playing and then making it Dianetic and putting it into the scene itself. They did a lot of that in the film, and that's a really good thing to do, I feel.
Yeah,
All right.
I need to actually look up the list to this track list sometime.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna do that after we're done with this actually, because I I like the first one, but I love this one by far. But the original soundtrack wasn't really used, so
Hmm.
in the first movie, sadly.
But we got Purple Lamborghini.
Yeah, we definitely got that. All right, so this was the Suicide Squad. I give it a 4.5 out of 5.
And I give it a 4 out of 5.
Thank you for listening to us for this long. We've gone 53 minutes now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I think we've gone long enough.
Enjoy that content.
Yes, enjoy the content. Relax Talk will be going out tomorrow, of course. And
Hmm.
thank you for listening. This will be a bye bye.
Bye bye.